Check, check, check. Czech Republic. My name is Ryan James Thomas, and I am a diverter. Today we're going to be going around and recycling and rollerblading along the way. Kind of give you an idea of what it's like in a day in the life of a bottle collector. So it's about 5 years now that we've been diverting. We started just before the pandemic, but I've been doing it naturally pretty much since I became an adult. I've always been intrigued with the environment and knowing how destructive we are with it. I don't want to be a part of that. I want to try and help the environment as much as possible. It's our home, it's beautiful, and I wanted to preserve it, so I'll do my part. Yeah, you can find pretty much anything, really. Even money, electronics that still work, phones and MP3 players and such. And yeah, there is one right there. I see another blue bin down here, so we're gonna cut over, go down the steps, and into a blue bin. Looks like just maybe one here. But it all adds up, one can at a time. A lot of bending up and down in this business, I'll tell you that much. It's hard on the joints. So a lot of my work is at nighttime where there's more freedom, less traffic then, so I can zip around and go to different areas in the city if need be. Good nights like Friday and Saturday night, I usually go out after midnight, like around 2 a.m. and then go till about 6 a.m. Bottle Depot is open 7 days a week, 9 to 5. It's the same every day. That way you don't get there an hour late or an hour early. You know, like I usually do a run even a couple hours before they close just to get a little bit more money for the night. It used to be shorter hours on Sunday, but Christmas Day and New Year's Day are the only 2 days that they're actually closed. So that's good for us that depend on that money every day. The time right now is about 6:30, 6:45. Victoria, it's cold when it's dark out, it seems like. It's very wet and it's about 4 degrees right now. Once I get going on the blades, I generate the body heat. Most of the time when I stop is when I feel the cold because the sweat becomes cold instantly. That's where the problem kicks in. So I go out, rain or shine. All right, let's do it. It's nothing in here. It's too late in the morning. I think that the city has already come around and emptied all the garbages. They do it around 5, I think is when they start to do it. So it's good to work around them a bit, you know, like they don't mind you doing it as long as you don't make a mess, you know. But it's no fun trying to out-battle the trucks and stuff like that. If I see them around, I usually just get out of their way. It's, you know, better off, you know. If one is creeping up behind me or something, they probably want to deal with the bins that I'm in. So I usually, if I see them, I just back off and you know, make eye contact, wave to them. And sometimes they pick up the bin right there and then, and sometimes they just drive by. The only actual interaction I've had with one of them was good. He just actually stopped and he actually gave me $5 just out of the blue. It was one of the truck drivers. So for the most part, you know, if you stay out of their way and don't leave a mess of their property, which is all these blue bins and green bins, then it should be fine, you know. I think we help them as well, you know, like bins get mixed up, plastic and cardboard, and sometimes when I'm taking some cans out, I will do my part to put them in the proper place because the resident will get in trouble for that. And it's us that do it sometimes. We go through the plastic and we put it into the cardboard bin that's right beside it. So if I deal with someone's property for a second or two, I usually try and help them out as well, like by cleaning up and making sure everything's in the right spot. I don't want us to be a nuisance when we're around. We're being helpful as well. We're not just collecting cans. We do diverting when we're out here as well. And I don't clean up every mess that I see, but if I'm at an area for longer than 5 minutes, I usually will take 5 minutes and clean up around it because I'm giving back the time that I was there. Even if it's not my mess, just to say thank you for letting me be there. And you can't clean it all up because then you wouldn't make any money during the day. But as the day goes on, it gets filled up again. Like lunch hour is gonna be good around this area. It looks like we're just behind the garbage trucks here today downtown, so not much action so far. With bottle collecting, you get exercise and you can also make it fun by bringing something with you for the downtime in between long little stretches where there's no bottles. So I can mix it in with my love for the game of hockey. So yeah, look at this year. Looks like they locked this one. Some people might lock them, you know, just from bad experiences with bottle collectors, you know, like leaving messes and whatnot around their house and stuff like that. So some people are gonna lock them, you know, and it's understandable to a degree, you know. But that's usually what it is, or a bad interaction could be that if they bring hostility to us, then we react to hostility back. It's one of those natural things. So like, they might see us in here and, hey, get off our property, you know, and then a bad interaction could occur there. So, you know, that's probably why they locked them up though, just because of a bad experience with a bottle collector. I think that one of the big health concerns is the bending that we do, the bending up and down and the lifting of the weight that we carry sometimes. That's why people like to carry wagons and stuff like that. It's that way they can carry a lot more than they could if they were by themselves. But with rollerblades, I can just zip around so fast that when I fill up one bag, I usually just zip and go and bring it to camp or bring it to the place that I'm staying at. So, and then I can just go out again, right? But people that walk around, they usually are out for 5-6 hours at a time. And that's the beauty about the rollerblades, I gotta admit. So I fill up a bag, I go and stash it and go back out. It's really hard to like just stash them in the bush overnight. Like, the risk of someone finding it is always there. So having a place that you can go to make sure that they're okay is good, you know. Like I am currently homeless, so I store them at my camp, but usually there's enough eyes around that will take care of that. For the safety of bottle collectors, I think there needs to be more safety, and that way they can stay healthy a lot longer too, because it's grueling on the joints and stuff like that, and your hands and stuff like that. So like, I meet so many different people while I do this, and people are like, they get amazed at the rollerblades.
Wow.
Yeah. I add a little twist to bottle collecting with the rollerblades, and then the hockey stick for reaching and poking at bags, and you know, yeah, playing sports and cycling. Yeah, I get that a lot. Hey, it doesn't get any more Canadian than that. You know, it's awesome. Hey, cheers. Thanks. Thanks for your interest. So there's a lot of good exposure that can come out of bottle collecting as well, and making connections throughout the community has been a blast for me. So much fun. I've met some really cool people, you know. I've made friends and people that I really respect, you know. So it's been a lot of fun. It's been a good journey. Been a part of Diverters pretty much from the beginning. I think it's going on 5 years or something like that I've been involved. But I've been doing that kind of work for probably 20 years now. Like it's who I am. That's how I generate my money during the days, is recycling, and I put hockey involved. So I'm doing what I like to do, you know, in tough times and tough situations of being homeless and stuff like that. I have a lot of time to fill, and I filled it with this. And I just love it. I love recycling, and then I put hockey involved and put them together, and now every day I do what I love to do. All right. Just check out this bin here. Now, just one thing I wanted to point out about this setup here is that there is locks on the garbage, and on the food and paper there's locks, but the city has left all the blue bins unlocked just to help out the bottle collectors around. It makes it much easier to access the bottles, obviously, but that's very cool of them to look. They're looking out for the bottle collector in this case. The garbage locked, food and paper locked, blue bin no lock. That's beauty. The Diverters is amazing because I can get paid to do this now and help others, you know, in the future and stuff like that. Most of the time, it's totally on your schedule. Sometimes it depends on when the bottle depot closes during the day, where you have to like maybe make some more money right now before they close. But other than that, it's up to you, like when you want to go out and work, you know, and you can take a break whenever you want, and you know, it is. There's freedom that comes involved with it. When I'm skating, nothing else matters, you know, in the world. I can just go skating and I skate off my problems. It's an outlet as well. But yeah, like the freedom you get is like you're cruising in a drop top Cadillac down a freeway. You know, that feeling you get, that's the same as what I get when I'm rollerblading and recycling, you know. And I'm proud of it. I'm proud of what we do, and I tell that to all the other bottle collectors out there that, you know, don't ever be ashamed of what you do, man, because what you're doing is a lot more than the average person is doing for the environment, you know. So keep doing what you do. I totally have nothing but respect for anybody that's involved in the bottle world, you know, because they're doing their part whether we like it or not, you know. So. Like, there's only so much that the city can do when they're going through, and they clean up all the garbage cans, but they don't really clean up the excess stuff that's around, you know. And it stands out because Victoria is very well kept, I think, for the most part. But there is still litter and bottles out there, and when the city's done doing their job, we come in and do the fine touching, and bins will get full and excess stuff gets, you know, blown away and into the parks and such, and that's where we come in. We go right into those bushes, in those thorn bushes, and get what we can to salvage. Yeah, my biggest enemy when I'm bottle collecting is thorn bushes. They like to grab onto you, hold you, and tear your bag sometimes. But we get right in there, we get all cut up, and we get every bottle. I like getting that one bottle that's very difficult to get, that bottle collectors have seen but they won't even go and get it. But I like those ones. I like being the one, I can take care of that. I'll go get that one. I like the challenge, you know, and the hockey stick comes in handy there, way in the middle, 20 feet in the thorn bushes. So you get cut up pretty good, but you know, part of the job. I find anything and everything, really. So, other than bottles, there's so much out there. It's a very wasteful society right now. Appliances or electronics that people often, you know, because people are always upgrading their technology. You find a lot of cords and such like that people can use still. It's just people are upgrading every year, and their stuff gets outdated so quickly nowadays that but it can still be used, you know, and that's another part of the diverters I think we should expand into in the future is restoration. You know, like people salvaging bits and pieces and making something out of it is such an art, and I'm amazed at what people can come up with. It's pretty cool. So restoration is also an important thing for the environment, and the bottle collectors definitely demonstrate that. Yeah, with their creativity, it's pretty cool. Coffee cups, for sure. That's pretty much what's left in garbages after a diverter or a bottle collector goes through it is coffee cups. That's a major one, and we have a program set up to help that cause. But that's an item that definitely should be. And also yogurt, those yops and stuff like that. There's nothing on those yet, and I think why not? You know, you do the dairy thing. We have a bit of milk that we can get deposits for, but not all of it yet. Like, there's creamers and yogurts out there that I think need deposit on them as well. Big events, holidays are always big for recycling. Probably this time of the year, like the winter, the Christmas parties, the New Year's Eve parties is probably the biggest time of the year for it. And also good weather, so summertime, you know, a lot of people will drink outside and have more parties outside, but I think Christmas season is probably a big time. That's for also people getting gifts and stuff like that, and then their old items getting tossed in the bins. It's crazy. The binning season for around Christmas and New Year's is huge. I like exploring it all. Like, I will go deep into the woods. Some days it depends on like my attitude. Like, if I want to be social that day or just want to keep to myself. If I want to keep to myself, I usually just go in the woods and more secluded places. If I'm feeling upbeat and willing to interact with people all day long, then I do the downtown area and stuff like that. So it all depends on my mood that day, on where I kind of want to go, but like I don't really specifically have routes because I like to explore and see the ins and outs of everywhere. But I think it's more my attitude that day, if I want to be social or not, is generally how I pick where I go. Like when I moved to Victoria, and when I first became homeless, I was like more walking around than I was staying at the hostels and stuff like that and shelters. I would get out and just go for walks, and then everything kind of came into play. Like the walking that I did, I'm like, there's a lot of cans and such that I'm passing when I'm walking that I could generate some money. So then the bottle collecting came in. But yeah, the exploring is just something I've always liked to do. I love the outdoors, and I love to explore and you know, learn history on the area that I'm exploring, so I like to go in the woods, like I said, and get dirty and go down in ditches and stuff like that. But then also being out within the community and meeting people is part of it as well. Exploring, recycling, playing sports, all wrapped up in one day. You know, I kind of am my own boss in that way too. So, and now we can, through the diverters, we can get that exposure, make a little bit more money, you know, and it's just a beautiful thing. For me, it's an outlet, like as well. Like when things get messy in the world, and you can just go out there and be your own boss and do what you on your own schedule too. No one's telling you to stop or where to go. You have that freedom, you know, and so that's what I like about it, is that when I'm doing it, I get to choose where I'm going, at what speed, and you know, you can have a break anytime you want. It's a freedom thing, and you can help the environment, you know, you can help the community. There's just so many positives that come along with this gig, so they can be proud of what they do, you know, even though we do get some backlash every once in a while, but that comes with the territory. That's part of what we do with the diverters too, is like we want to change the image of the bottle collectors, that we're not all addicts, we're not all, you know, bums and stuff like that, that we are very helpful to the community, and we want to show exactly how we are doing that. You know, just having simple conversations with people can go a long way. Like, I've had this backlash where people just run right up to me and were face to face with me and said, "Get a real job," when I was just picking up a can in the parking lot, you know, and I said to the person really calmly, I just said, "You know what, can I just have 1 minute of your time and I'll explain a little bit about myself and what I do," you know, and I told them, you know, like, I'm on the streets, I'm homeless. There's only so many ways to make our own way, or make our own money. And that's like drug dealing or prostitution, and you know, that's not my style. And I found a way to generate tax-free money and get paid every day, and by doing something good for the community, and you know, and that's recycling. Like, that's a beauty thing about it, is that you can get paid every day, cash, tax-free. I literally took 1 minute of his time and quickly said, like, that I'm here just to make some money while I'm on the street, you know, and this is an honest way of doing it. There's other things I could be doing right now for generating money, but I chose that way, so that's a beautiful thing. And that guy was changed by it. Like, after that minute, he was apologizing to me, and you know, you can change someone's perception with just 1 minute, you know. And he was apologizing by the end of that minute. So, and also, I find items and I get to give gifts. I get to give gifts to people, and that's to people that are down at the shelter, who are down in their life, and you know, I can bring them an item of something they enjoy doing, and it brings a smile to their face, and they feel good again. It can really change someone's day by getting like an item that they cherish, you know, and I found it for them. It's of no cost, you know. Yeah, through the diverters now, like with board of directors and the volunteers that we have, I've noticed that there is a part of society that thinks that we're amazing workers at what we do. And so through the diverters, we are gonna expose to the bottle collectors that there are supporters out there. Like, we get the backlash a lot, but there isn't like the exposure of the good backlash that we get. And there is people that, like, I found at UVic, that students just think that we're like environmental angels, you know, and we don't get to hear these kind of stories. So through this documentary, we've interviewed people like the mayor and some UVic students and UVic professors and volunteers, and just saying amazing things about us. And it's encouraging that we have that, because it's neat to know that there's a lot of people with the same passion, coming from different perceptions, and that's really the amazing thing, is the example that people have done across the world, especially like in Brazil. Like, they have gotten so big and so strong that they've been able to change laws, and they can take any recyclable material in and get paid by the pound. I think that the potential of diverters, we can make changes like that. So it's very exciting to be a part of this early, and be able to mold this business into the right direction, and getting big and strong enough that we can change laws to help us do a better job and make big changes. It's pretty exciting. what makes me hopeful is that there is other people that share the same passion, and collectively we can make a difference. If that's what's really motivating, is pretty amazing, and that's what inspires me.
Final question. First word that comes to your mind when you think of diverters?
Inspiring.